Welcome to the Midnight Story Club.
A few years ago, my friends and I went camping in a remote part of Colorado. The kind of place where there's no cell service, no nearby towns, and the closest ranger station is about 40 miles away. Just miles of forest and mountains. We found the campsite online. It wasn't an official campground, just a clearing people sometimes use for backcountry camping. A dirt road led up to the mountains, and eventually we found the spot marked in the directions. The clearing was surrounded by tall pine trees. It was beautiful and completely isolated. There were three of us: me, my friend Jason, and his girlfriend Megan. We set up our tents near the edge of the clearing while the sun was still high in the sky. Everything felt normal, peaceful, the kind of quiet you only find deep in the mountains. We built a small fire, cooked some food, and sat around talking while the sky slowly turned dark. Eventually, Jason pointed something out. "Do you guys hear that?" We all stopped talking. The forest had gone completely silent. No crickets, no wind, no animals, just nothing. It was strange, but none of us thought too much about it at the time. The mountains do that sometimes. Eventually, we put out the fire and crawled into our tents. Jason and Megan shared one tent. I had the other one. At first, everything was quiet. Then sometime, around the middle of the night, I woke up to a sound. Footsteps. Slow footsteps crunching across the dirt outside the tent. At first I assumed it was one of my friends getting up to use the bathroom or something. But the footsteps didn't move away. They circled the tent. Slow, deliberate. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I sat up and listened. After a few seconds, I whispered, "Jason?" The footsteps stopped. For a moment, I thought maybe I'd imagined it. Then they started again. Only this time, they were closer. Right outside the tent. At first, I thought it was a bear. But bears usually sniff around, knock things over, investigate. This thing was just walking in circles around my tent, over and over again. I slowly reached for my flashlight. The footsteps stopped again. The breathing stopped. The silence outside the tent felt wrong. Like whatever had been out there was now standing completely still, listening. Then I heard Megan's voice from the other tent, barely louder than a whisper. "Do you hear that?" Jason answered quietly. "Yeah." I whispered back, "What is it?" Jason paused. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. "It's been walking around our tent for 20 minutes. 20 minutes? That meant it had been there long before I woke up." We sat there in silence for a few seconds. Then the footsteps started again. Crunch, crunch, crunch. But now they weren't circling my tent anymore. They were circling theirs. Slow, careful, like it was studying them. Megan suddenly said something that made things worse. "There's more than one." Jason asked what she meant. Her voice was shaking. "I hear something behind you." None of us moved. Then we heard it. Another set of footsteps, on the other side of the clearing, moving slowly towards the tents. Two sets of footsteps now, maybe more. I grabbed the flashlight and slowly unzipped the tent. Jason whispered urgently from his tent, "Don't open that." But I had to see what was out there. I shined the flashlight towards the trees. At first, I didn't see anything, just the dark forest. Then, the beam caught something. Two eyes reflecting the light, low to the ground, too far apart to be a normal animal. And behind them, another pair, and another. At least 5 sets of glowing eyes stood just beyond the edge of the clearing, watching the tents, watching us. Then every single pair of eyes blinked off at the same time, like they had stepped backwards into the trees. The footsteps stopped. The forest went completely silent again. We didn't sleep for the rest of the night. We stayed in our tents until sunrise. The moment the first light hit the clearing, Jason and I stepped outside. The dirt around the tent was covered in tracks. But they weren't animal tracks. They looked almost human. Long, thin, barefoot, and there were dozens of them, circling the tents. But the strangest part was the pattern. All the tracks faced inward, toward the tents. Like whatever had been out there had been standing in a circle, watching us sleep.
Good night, and thank you for listening to the Midnight Story Club. Please subscribe. The stories told on the Midnight Story Club are works of fiction, folklore, or personal accounts submitted by listeners. While some stories may reference real places or events, they are told for entertainment purposes.